Hey everyone, welcome back to the CU Evangelist channel or Credit Union Evangelist. And we are spreading the good news about CUs. And I'm so excited on today that you have taken the opportunity to tune in to my channel and to listen to this topic on MDIs. Now, what is an MDI? Well, we're going to dive into that topic in a few moments. But what I can tell you right now is that it is not an acronym for a federal agency. MDI stands for Minority Depository Institutions. And those institutions can be either banks or they can be credit unions. But because I am the credit union evangelist, of course, we're going to be speaking about MDIs as Minority Depository Credit Union Institutions. So let's define what an MDI exactly is. Well, it's a type of financial institution and it plays a crucial role in supporting and empowering minority communities. These are institutions that are either owned in the case of banks, but in the terms of credit unions, they are managed by people that are from particular minority groups and they primarily serve minority populations. And their roles are crucial with regard to providing access to credit in minority communities. To be specific, a MDI qualifies, and typically it's a self-certification. A credit union would fill out a questionnaire with the regulator, the National Credit Union Administration, otherwise known as NCUA, and they would, in essence, self-designate themselves as a minority depository institution. And the criteria for that designation is primarily if a majority of the board members are minority, also, if again they serve um, minorities in a particular community, and these minority groups include African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, or either Native American uh, communities. And if they serve any of these particular groups within a defined area, and if the majority of the board members and also the employees are minority, then they can self-designate themselves as a minority depository institution. Well, why is it so important for MDIs to exist? And that's because they provide essential financial assistance and financial services, for that matter, to communities that might not otherwise be served by your traditional uh, institutions like banks. We know that credit unions primarily support underserved and unbanked communities where in uh, past history, these communities were not receiving certain financial services. And when that happens, and if MDIs do not step into the gap, then you have these communities that fall prey to predatory lenders, such as title loan companies, payday lenders, and the sort. But MDIs bridge that gap, provide access to credit, provide alternative payday loans so that they are not forever in a never ending debt trap cycle. And it is just a couple of things why MDIs are so important. You know, they also provide financial education to the members of the credit union that are MDIs. They teach financial literacy, how to manage money, how to build credit, and also plan for the future. You know, MDIs are game changers in the community for individuals and for families. And it helps lead to greater financial stability in the community. And if members thrive, then so do the communities. They thrive as well. As a matter of fact, MDIs are so important that the federal government during the Obama administration mandated the financial regulators to develop ways to preserve minority depository institutions. And that legislation was enacted and called the Dodd-Frank Act. And it was adopted by and ratified by Congress, and it was signed into law by President Obama. So the NCUA, which is the regulatory agency for credit unions, they have a mandate to make sure that MDIs are preserved. And that's an important piece of legislation because these MDIs may fall by the wayside. Sometimes they are compared to other asset-sized peer groups in the community or in other communities for that matter, and that may not be a true measure in terms of being peers. Why? Because in minority communities, there is a greater need to have an appetite for higher risk, not unmeasured risk, but risk nevertheless. In other words, you may make exceptions when it comes to making a loan because of other history and historical information that you utilize in making lending decisions, where you have other credit unions in other communities that may not utilize that particular criteria, such as what is the rental payment history of the member? What other creative ways members could show their credit worthiness that would not be reflected in their FICO score? So in that essence, in that instance, MDIs serve a particular role in understanding the members that live in the community. And as such, they tailor their lending practices, their service practices to be catered toward members of minority groups. So I hope that gives you a brief snippet as to what MDIs are and their importance in the community. And as I stated, MDIs stand for Minority Depository Institutions. And credit unions do have MDI status. They do have credit unions that focus in minority communities and serve minority members. I hope this was helpful in spreading the good news about CUs, or in other words, spreading the good news about credit unions. Hope to see you on the next video. Be well, stay blessed, and see you next time. Take care.